This is Nigel from Louder the War, and I'm talking to Chris Bridgett from the Cold Water Swimmers. How you doing, Chris?
Hi, Nigel. I'm doing well, mate. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, all good. I mean, it's nice and warm. Sun's come out. It's a little bit easier to cope with lockdown when the sun's shining, you know.
Yeah.
But how have you been? You been okay?
Yeah, I've been good. It's been busy because obviously we've got the album out this week.
Yep.
Holiday at the Secret Lake. So I've been working on that. Well, been working on that, getting the album out, and doing everything I have to do for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty hectic. You know, you've got to put a lot of different heads on.
Well, I saw you on Facebook talking about how you had to be a digital marketer, a musician, a songwriter. You have to do everything, all 9 yards. Have you not had any help at all?
Oh, God. Well, I've had some help on trying to get the songs to radio, which is great. I've had help with doing the photography for the album. Paul Husband obviously did that. I did all the graphics and artwork, but he did the photographs. But other than that, it's all DIY. You know, from from marketing it and trying to sell it and trying to get people to listen to it and trying to build an audience. It's all DIY, Nigel. There's no other way, really.
You've said
for a band like us, you know, we're not going to be signed by a major record label. Big independents don't know about us yet.
Yeah.
So really, if we've got this music to put out, which we have, and we want to put it out, having this DIY or die attitude is the only way. You know,
kind of call that your record label, haven't you? Your DIY.
Yeah. Well, I called the label DIY or die. You know, for that. I was, funnily enough, I was one of the first people I mentioned it to was John Robb.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and he said get that on some t-shirts, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to use that as the name for the label because
we've got some good t-shirts. This one.
Oh no, I've seen your stuff. Hey, I've seen your stuff. You should ask me to model it next time, though.
We will. Get you on with a big audience, and we'll stick some Louder Than War t-shirts on.
Yeah, happy to help. Always happy to help.
So do you want to just
DIY or die, mate? That's it.
No, it totally is. It totally is, and it's difficult in these times. It's expensive. Everybody gets that, and sometimes you can be banging your head against a brick wall, and there doesn't seem to be any traction. And you do something, and there's a little bit of interest, and it fades. I completely get that. It's about maintaining that visibility, if you like.
It's easier said than done. Everyone has such a short concentration span. You know, they'll love something one day and the next day it's on to something else. I don't know how you combat that. You know, you can't constantly be in a position to constantly pump out content and new content. You've got to make the most of what you've got, and then hopefully earn enough back from places like Bandcamp to reinvest it and do the second lot. That's the stage we're in now, Nigel. Yeah, exactly. You know, I've spent a fair whack, but I want to earn that back through selling the product so we can go in and do album number 2, because album number 2 is written, you know, and the songs on it. I'm so happy with them that if I don't get an opportunity to do that, I don't know how I'm going to live with myself, to be honest.
Absolutely.
So it will happen.
Just going back to the formation of Cold Water Swimmers, you were in Dubsex for a number of years, guitarist in Dubsex, and then you joined the GOD with Cy Wollstonecroft on drums. You supported the Stone Roses at the Etihad, which must have been the pinnacle.
It was at Wembley Stadium. It was at Wembley Stadium.
Oh, was it Wembley?
Yeah.
Sorry. Wow.
Yeah. That was great. Yeah. So
I guess that was the pinnacle of the number of people seeing you in one space at one time. It must have been
I must admit, Nigel, if there's more than 30 people in a gig that I'm actually playing at, I usually get a little bit concerned, you know. I say glibly, you know, I have played at audiences before. But to play, I mean, at that time of the day, you know, you're playing in front of what, 10 to 15,000 people?
Amazing.
And it was only 4 years after I started to play again. All songs that I'd written myself. So really, you know, deciding to play again, and then 4 years later, you're opening for the Stone Roses at Wembley with, you know, 7 songs that you've written yourself. and you've got a pretty good band around you performing them. So yeah, that was an amazing day. But you know, Nigel, on Monday night we celebrated the launch of the Secret Lake at the Secret Lake in Levenshulme.
Levenshulme, I know.
And you know, it was just acoustic, so no tech, no production, nothing. And I swear, in all honesty, I enjoyed that as much, if not more, than playing somewhere like Wembley Stadium. Although I do want to play these big venues again. What I get out of that is being with a fantastic band with Carrie and Selena. And playing in front of must have been about 30, 35 people there.
I'm really pleased about that. I was going to come down. I wasn't feeling very well, I'll be honest with you, and it just got too late. And me and Lorraine were going to come down, but we didn't in the end, so I do apologise about that. But it looked like it was great, and I expected to see Selena sort of hammering like a tea chest or something. Well, she'd got a full drum kit there, right?
No, she just had a snare and a hi-hat. To tap along, and a couple of other shaky things and what have you. And Carrie had her acoustic bass. I had my guitar, obviously, and that was plugged into a little Roland Cube amp that I borrowed off George Borowski. I saw you at his place, So you know, and it worked together. It worked really, really well, and we're planning something else as well, which I've actually just started pushing. It's the whole idea of, they said we couldn't play, but we'll play anyway. You know, and if they're forcing us to, you know, go into the woods or go to a secret lake or play acoustic songs, our songs acoustic, because we're not an acoustic band, but the songs are written on acoustic guitar, so we can bang them out anywhere. You know, we can play them anywhere. Drop of a hat, we'll come out of your garden and put on a show. There's nothing really needs to be teched up with us. It's you know, it's that simple and organic.
Like an old rave. You can get the old rave culture going, where you have, like, you know, scurrilous meetings in woods and little well,
it is a little bit like that. I mean, I'm doing something on July the 9th, which is very, very similar.
Is that still going ahead?
Pines. On July the 9th, no. This is because Night and Day was cancelled, because obviously you can get 12,000, 20,000 people in Ascot, but you can't get 150 people in Night and Day.
Correct.
So they said we couldn't play, so we put that back to July 22nd, which is a great day. Thursday night will still be a fantastic show, but on that night I wanted to do something, and I'm going to do something, and it's called, you know, Acoustic Pines. And it's not going to be just us. We've got some guests joining us and some fantastic performers. And I can't wait to tell you who's joining us, because I'm so chuffed. You know, and it's going to be a bit like one of those Shakespeare in the Parks, you know, where you walk around different locations.
Absolutely,
And a set is played out, but this is different because obviously there's no Shakespeare. You know, it's all acoustic performers. And the location will be revealed on the day. And everyone will meet at this one location.
You'll be flicking all on your mobile phones. Right, this is where we're going.
So it's like, it is a little bit like finding out where the rave is.
Isn't it?
The petrol station on the M6, you know, but this is so much more civilized, Nigel.
Oh, it sounds amazing. It sounds amazing.
It will be.
If you're genuinely excited about it, I can tell it comes across.
Oh, yeah. I love doing this stuff because, again, DIY or die. If you don't do it, you know, what else are you going to be doing? We're being told we can't play music. I'm saying I can play music. And I will play it, and I'll play it in front of an audience of 5 people if I have to. I'd love 5,000 at the Apollo or wherever, when we, you know, can play properly, plugged in and loud and punk and all of that stuff that we're good at. But right at this moment, if I want to play my music with the girls, and what I have to do is go to a location in a forest and play it, and hopefully some people come and see it, I'll do that. I'll take that.
Superb.
They're not going to stop us.
No, you know? Absolutely not. DIY or die.
DIY or die.
Absolutely.
You know?
Do you want to tell us a little bit about how the Cold Water Swimmers came together? Because I believe that Selena and Carrie were in a duo of their own. Before you sort of formed Cold Water Swimmers, and then take us through the process of being called Cold Water Swimmers and how it kind of got cranked up, started going.
It was beautiful serendipity.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. I saw Carrie and Celine. I've known Carrie for a long time. I hadn't seen her for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And I saw them play, and I instantly saw the energy that they had, and just thought, you don't see this. They weren't amazing players or anything like that, but the energy and attitude was just the best I'd seen. So I invited them down to support us at a gig that I put on at the Dublin Castle the night before we opened for the Roses at Wembley.
So this was with the GOD, yeah?
Yeah, with the GOD, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
The band that Cy Wolstencroft and me put together.
Yeah.
And at that gig, I rather boastfully and egotistically said to them, I love your band, the only thing missing is me.
I love it.
I know it's cheeky as you like to say that, but then 6 months later, once the GOD had finished, we found ourselves in Selena's Conservatory in Prestwich doing our first rehearsal, and that was on the 24th of January. And at the end of the rehearsal, Carrie got a phone call to say that Marky Smith died. That's why I always remember the exact date we got together.
Yeah.
Because Carrie was married to Carl Burns years and years ago, the original drummer, with the Fall. So there's a connection there. But that's how we got together. And the name, it's a strange one. This, I dreamt I was reading a book and I saw the word Cold Water Swimmers, and I woke up with it the next day. So I Googled it, just Googled it, and I had this description of how when you first go into the water, you hyperventilate and your blood pressure rises. Yeah. And I thought, oh, I like that. Maybe make some music where has that sort of impact.
Yeah.
Maybe that's right. And then I went to the girls and I just said, I've got a name, Cold Water Swimmers, and they both went, yes, straight away. So it wasn't like, is it any good? What does it mean? Yeah. Does it actually reflect what we sound like? Does it? There was none of that. Yeah. It was, I've had this idea, what do you think? And they went, yeah.
I thought that Carrie,
working with them.
I thought that Carrie was like a cold water swimmer because I've seen the gear and everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she started after the band, and she does. Carrie's an incredibly sort of strong woman, and her history would it would put a lot of people to shame, what she's gone through in her life, and she's tough. So if anyone's going to go into a freezing cold lake in Levenshulme or a freezing cold lake in the middle of winter, it's going to be her.
The one that's going to do it. And it's lent itself really well to the T-shirts with the power of three and all that sort of thing, the way you've actually done the graphics and that. How did you done those yourself, or did you get somebody to do them?
No, I do it all. I do all the graphics and all the artwork, and write the songs and do all that creative side. That's it's going back to that thing, isn't it, Nigel? It's like wishing I had a budget. We've managed to put this great record out that looks great, sounds great, and it's probably cost about $4,000 in total. Wow. You tell me a major record label who would do that? In all honesty, they'd spunk that on a publisher on a plugger to get 5 Steve Lamacq plays. Do you know what I mean? But we've managed to do what we've done, and it's because of all the hard work we've all put in.
Where was it recorded, Chris?
It was all recorded with Simon Ding Archer, at his studio, 6dB in Salford. There's a lot of people go through there. I think ACR have done most of their stuff there recently anyway.
We played one of his tracks on the show We played one of his tracks on the show last week from his band, the 1919. He's
so excited about that, Yeah. He's so excited. It was a band that he was into when he was younger.
Oh, really?
And then now he's playing with them.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it reminds me of Stiff Little Fingers. One of their guitarists is called E. McCallum.
Yeah.
And we went to school together. We sat in the same economics class, and he was a Stiff Little Fingers fan. I've been with him for 20 years now, but these things do happen.
Well, the original Stiff Little Fingers are from Northern Ireland, right?
Yeah. Jake Burns is a Newcastle United fan like myself.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
We all have our cross to bear, right?
And that's mine, believe you me.
So tell us a little bit about the album, because it's been a long time in gestation. Some of the songs are like, you were doing like 2-3 years ago, and some of the songs are new for the album. Summer Breeze has a particular resonance with you and your history and everything. So tell us a little bit about the songs on the album.
Well, the songs were recorded over the last sort of 3 years sporadically, as and when. But a few of the singles, Summer Breeze, Burn Your Idols, Robots, which were the first sort of singles that I released, I took them all down off Spotify. I didn't like them. For me, there were 6s, 5s and 6s, and I wanted 9s and 10s.
In terms of the recording quality, you mean?
Well, it was a mix. It didn't have the feel. It's like, does it feel right? Are the hackles on the back of my neck going up at any point here? Yeah. And yes, at a couple of points it is. And it's like anything else when you're doing creative, Nigel. Often, if it's one thing wrong, if there's one thing that isn't right, it's like a grain of sand. It nags at you, and eventually that's all you hear. Yeah. And I started to realize as I was putting them out, these songs work well together. Yeah. So last year I decided to take everything down off Spotify, record some new songs, remix the ones that we've done, and put it together as an album. Originally, I was going to call it just Cold Water Swimmers and try and get into that eponymous debut album thing, which
I was just about to say
so many of my favorite bands have done that.
Yeah.
But when it came to sort of putting it all together, I thought, no, it doesn't. It's not enough. I want something more. It doesn't tell a story. Yeah. And then the Secret Lake in Levenshulme is somewhere I knew about it, and I wanted to get a photograph with. Referencing that Cold Water Swimmers stuff. And when I went down there and I showed Paul Husband it, he said, right, I want Carrie in the lake, I want you stood in the lake, and I want Selena lounging around there as if she's on holiday, and let's make it look like a really crap holiday project. And I thought, okay, yeah, I'll go with that idea, Paul. And excuse me. And then I came home and I thought, I just care about Holiday at the Secret Lake. Yeah. And it kind of worked really well for us, because I do feel like we're a secret. I feel like certain people have discovered us, and they really love it, and I'm grateful for that. But it's almost like it shouldn't be there when you discover the Secret Lake in Levenshulme. It's in the middle of an post-industrial landscape, and it shouldn't be there. It shouldn't exist. But when you walk up to it and you see it, you could be in a leafy lane of Cheshire. It's apart from the slag heaps in the background.
Yeah. Is it known as a secret lake locally?
Yeah, it's in Levenshulme. It's literally 10-minute walk from my house.
But is it known as the secret lake?
It's known as the Secret Lake.
Oh, I got you.
Locally.
Yeah.
So
because it is right in the middle of a load of there's houses at the front, there's houses at the back, and then there's this big industrial park on the edge of it. Yeah.
And then the lake there, where the local youths go to have a smoke and what have you, But it was part of my lockdown walk, and it kind of made sense to me once I put all the songs together, and it just felt right. Yeah. So then eponymous debut album out of the window, and in with the Holiday at the Secret Lake. Yeah, because it tells that story, because the songs are stories. Summer Breeze is a song, it is about redemption, Burn Your Idols is about believing in yourself and not looking up to these people and treating them as idols, and it came from a conversation I had with somebody who was telling me that Noel Gallagher was the greatest songwriter of his generation, and I'm just going, listen, mate, I knew that kid when he was 21, and he hasn't got a patch on you. Yeah. And that's where the line came from, because it's, don't hold these people up because they're no different to you. Yeah. I believe that most musicians, we've all got the same amount of talent. There's the odd 5%, people like Prince. Yeah. Yeah. Nile Rodgers. Yeah. Who, Ray Davies. Yeah. Who are the top 5%, but the rest of us are all the same. Yeah. And success comes from two things. Timing, so important. and who gets behind you.
Yeah.
But the newer ones, like So Young, was written in lockdown, and it happened because of a dream I had. And an ex-girlfriend came to me in this dream, and it was like so lifelike.
Yeah.
It's one of those dreams that is so lifelike. It's actually scary when you wake up. You know, it was that real.
Yeah.
And in this sort of in this dream, she forgave me. You know, because I wasn't particularly nice to her when I was younger. Okay. And the story, you know, the story's So Young, and came out of that.
Yeah.
Be My Sunshine, I wrote that as lockdown was coming, because I just, you know, I wanted to have a song that was uplifting. I didn't want a song that was going to be angry. Yeah. I'm leaving the angry to other people who are doing it better than me.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of your songs that involve more of a personal journey, like Summer Breeze, where you can really infuse it with your own experiences, and it's real life, isn't it? It's real life. And but also, just to move away from that slightly, you started with a kind of post-punk vibe, and by the time we get to the summer one, what's the summer one? The last
So Young.
It's all it's like jangly guitars, and it's a little bit sort of Liverpool 1963, you know.
Yeah. You're talking about Breaking Hearts. That's the first track on the album, and Liverpool sound has always been huge to me. The first band I got into was the Beatles, and I know that's so standard, but it is, and I've loved Liverpool ever since. And there's a certain quality Liverpool musicians have, and when they're 17, it's a rite of passage where they've all got to learn Forever Changes by Love. It's actually written in the Liverpool constitution of musicians. You've all got to learn to play that on acoustic guitar. And, you know, and it's about melody. Yeah. And it's about playing together. Yeah. And I've always had that. But the post-punk side comes from, you know, starting a band and not being able to play, and discovering that if you turn a distortion pedal on and let notes drone for a long time, you can get away with just about any. You know, full bands have done that career-wise.
But Carrie's got us kind of post-punk bass style that sort of echoes early Fall. You know, the way that she plays the bass, and Selena, a very kind of loose but precise. Can you be that drum beat? It's very determined, isn't it? It's got that post-punk feel about it, and then you're sort of overlaying it with this sort of you know, almost Beatlesque thing going on as well. It's a nice. It's a heady concoction.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think definitely in that song, and you know, Carrie plays guitar. You know, I asked her to come on bass.
Yes.
And a lot of it's very rudimentary. A lot of it, it's almost like nursery rhyme. It's simple.
There's a bit of garage in there. I think that's the thing. You know, garage rock has got that sort of loose framework to it. It is quite raw in the Louis Luke way, isn't it? You know, that on the
yeah. I mean, I think as a band, these later songs, or at least half the songs, have all come from acoustic guitar. Yeah. So I sit and I write them on acoustic guitar, and then I present them to the girls on acoustic guitar, and then I take it into the practice room where we do it loud, where we strip it down, where we figure out exactly what notes Carrie's going to play. Yeah. And what beat Selena's going to play. And, you know, I always want space. Yeah. I want to hear each instrument. Yeah. And I also want to hear the vocals. These are things that are important.
Is this something that you push over to Ding to say, right, okay, this is how the soundscape's going to look. We've got this over here, we've got that over there, that over there, and a little bit of space here and here. You're almost creating that soundscape when you're defining to him how you think it should sound in your head.
Yeah, I mean, Ding fixes the mix like that. He's the technical expert, the way we work together. But I've got good ears, and it has to sound right and it has to feel right. But I'll sit with Ding and I'll go, Ding, this is the song. Yeah. And I'll play it to him on acoustic guitar, and we map it out and we put it down, and then the girls come in and play along. And then it's as simple as that. Yeah. It really is. There's no let's start with a beat and a hook. It's a song. It's written. It's finished. It's got a start, a middle, an end. And I take it in and I go, this is it. This is what I've brought to the table today.
Yeah. You alluded to the fact that, well, you said that Carrie was also a guitarist. And the last time I think I saw you was at the Pier Hat. And at the very end, you basically passed round instruments. And so Carrie was playing the guitar, you were playing bass, Selena was on drums, and then you swapped round and Carrie was on drums, you were on drums.
Yeah, well, what that is, it's the last song. It's called Everything. Sorry, this song, it's called I Love You, I Hate You. And it's a song that I brought over from the GOD that we just didn't play right.
Yeah.
But we play it perfectly as a
I remember it now, yeah. And it doesn't stop.
It's just a blues riff,
yeah.
you know, that goes on and repeats itself.
Yeah.
But at the end, I just said to Carrie, I said, I tell you what, you and Selena swap over. So you play drums.
Yeah.
Selena will come on bass and I'll just hold the riff while you're doing that. And then we'll all go off, because it's a show. You know, I'm a big believer on the best bands put on a show. And if all you can do is swap instruments and do that, well, it's still a show. Your House Martins did it. You know, when they used to play, and I was never a huge House Martins fan, but when they took their instruments down at the end of it, you know, the end of the gig and packed up as they were playing, so it's left with a drum at the end.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's show business.
When you played at the Castle, remember when you played at the Castle, and I think Peyton's SOH one as well. I remember Carrie going on the drum kit and literally just finishing and just collapsing and lying back.
Yeah.
What a great
she loves it. She loves it. They both love doing it. You know, we've actually got something else up our sleeve for our gig at Night and Day, which is on July the 22nd. So if anyone hasn't got tickets, I'd get them pretty soon, because hopefully it will sell out. And we've got something else up our sleeve to add to the.
You're going to add a keyboardist. You can tell me.
Sorry?
You're going to add a keyboardist or something?
No, I haven't had time to do that. I've tried to do that because it is something I want to add.
Yeah.
My daughter wasn't by anyway. But I can't do that yet. So my philosophy is always, we do the best that we can with what we've got available at the time. And if we do that, we've done our best, and there's nothing else. And at the moment, I can't find it. I can't rehearse it. So we're just going to play it as a three-piece. You won't hear the new keyboard lines that I've put in here and there, but so what? Believe you me, you'll see a show that'll melt your face.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And there's a lot of heart. There's a lot of heart and passion in these songs, and it really comes across on the album. The way it's sequenced, the way, you know, the passion comes across, notwithstanding the fact that it's all expertly played and delivered and everything else, and the production's great. There's a new zing to the tracks, and I'm sure that's what you were after when you were saying you pulled stuff down from Spotify. You wanted to just reconfigure everything and put a polish on it, and it feels feels like done that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, we own everything.
Yeah,
you know, so there's no one telling me what to do. There's no one. There's no record label telling me I can't pull anything down or it's not mine. I'll do what I bloody well want. It's mine.
Yeah,
and obviously, you know, the girls are an important part of that. But to be quite honest, that's so great, because they just let me just fly off and just and do these things, you know. Girls, I've got another idea, right? We're going to play in a forest. What? And then and I love them for it, because they support that creativity like no one ever has done, ever, you know, in bands. You know, I've never had that support of, go on, Chris, you just do that, and we'll be there. And that's wonderful.
Too many closed minds. There's too many egos.
Yeah, that can be a problem. You know, and ego's a tough one, isn't it? Absolutely. You know, we're told how it's bad, how, you know, we need to deal with our egos, but we've all bloody well got them. And I think as long as it doesn't destroy things,
the nature of what it's meant to be. You talked about writing new songs for a new album. When you play on July 22nd, are you going to debut any of those songs, Chris?
Yes. There's a part of the set which I think all good bands always break it down, even in their big shows, and they might do a couple of acoustic songs. It gives people a rest, a bit of a break, and we're going to do 2 or 3 acoustic sort of numbers.
Cool.
When I say acoustic, it's acoustic because obviously it's plugged in. I'll be singing through a microphone and there's a smaller drum kit, but acoustic.
Yeah.
And there'll be 2 or 3 of the songs debuted there, so it'll be quite a long set. Yeah. But I'm so happy with them. I am so excited about some of the songs that I've just been writing. I think they're the best ones I've ever done. But to be honest, I always think that.
I'll be the judge.
This one's a cracker. This one's the one. Honestly,
we'll be the judge of that.
I know, and I always get it wrong. I always get it wrong. I mean, I remember sat in a car, and it's a faded memories now, but I think it was Alan Erasmus from Factory, and he playing me. It was as Factory was dying as well, but he was playing me the first Oasis demo.
Oh wow!
In his car, and I
legendary
went,
cassette.
Shite. Yeah, I went, no, it's shite. It's just starting to sound like T-Rex there, and I knew Noel then.
Yeah.
Fairly well because he used to roadie with in Spirals, and the Spirals and Dub Sex did shows together. So I first met him then. Yeah. And I said, no, that's shite, that is. They went on to be the biggest band in the world. So don't listen to me.
You've got no judgment. Forget it, mate.
My taste is a little bit, is often more obscure than that, especially as a young man. If anyone else liked it, I refused to like it. As soon as people started liking the Smiths, that was it. I stopped liking the Smiths.
I used to be the same. Get into something, then drop it. So
then loads of other.
For the benefit of the viewers, Holiday at the Secret Lake has just come out. It literally came out on Monday. Is it?
Monday the 21st.
Monday the 21st. Can they buy physical copies from Bandcamp?
Yeah, Bandcamp. So you can get a CD and pre-order the vinyl. There's a wait on the vinyl, and I keep apologising for this, but there's a 6 months wait from ordering to actually getting your vinyl. It's because of Brexit, because of COVID, and most vinyl is made on there. So I apologise I'm only doing 250, and half of them are gone already, and nobody's got it, and they'll get it at the end of September. That's the date that I've got. So. Yeah, I know. Thank you. So apologies for that, but we do have CDs and they're going out, and it's obviously on the streaming platforms. But we make more money from the sale of one CD,
of course,
than we do 10,000 streams on Spotify. If we make a CD for £3.50 and we sell it for a tenner, we make more. It's crazy from one than 10,000 plays. So
that's amazing, isn't it?
You try to make Spotify grow, but I kind of gave up on it, and our figures were terrible because I gave up on it. But I'm not bothered.
It's right to have it on there because for people like me, for any band like this, for people like me who are researching for radio shows or new stuff to like, it's really important that the stuff is there because
I love it as a consumer.
Yeah,
Nigel, as a consumer, I love streaming because I've got everything there and I can discover it. But like you, if I discover something, I will buy a physical product. I got back into vinyl like so many other people recently, so I do go and buy a physical product. When I do discover something.
So let's just, in conclusion, Holiday at the Secret Lake. It's out now. You can buy physical copies from Bandcamp. You can stream it on Spotify, and don't miss your show on the July the 22nd. If not before something special on July the 9th. But what social media channels for all of that?
Yes.
That's
perfect
brilliant.
Summing up, Nigel. Pleasure to speak to you. And I look forward to listening.
So thanks so much, Chris, for that. Can you hear me? So this is Nigel for Louder Than the War. Thanks for watching. And thanks to Chris Bridgett from Cold Water Swimmers. Cheers, Chris.
Thanks very much. Good to speak. See you soon.
You too.